Today we are planning to visit the diamond triangle of Ratnagiri, Udaygiri and Lalitgiri complex of Buddhist monasteries. The first place to visit was Udaygiri, and it is the largest complex within these triangles. Udaygiri is believed to have been active between 7th and 12th centuries. It's almost 90 kilometers from Bhubaneswar. You go from Bhubaneswar, Cuttack, as you go towards West Bengal. Somewhere down the road, you have to take a right turn and you eventually go towards these three sites. The first one that we wanted to visit was Udaygiri, and this is a site that was excavated between 1985-86 and 89-90. These sites are really amazing in the sense that this is not something that this has been found by excavating existing places. So these things did exist and they have been dated to between 7th and 12th centuries. In the Udaygiri site itself, it has been split into two, but within the Udaygiri sites, you have a Buddhist monastic complex and a stupa of around 7 meters with 4 images of Dhyani Buddha fixed at its 4 cardinal points. People believe that this site is Madhavpura Mahavir Vihar during the large excavations from 1997 to 2000. A second site was also discovered, which is called Udaygiri 2, and it has some additional stupas and monasteries. The antiquities in these sites consist of Buddha, Tara, Manjushri, Jatamukta, Lokaswara, and many terracotta seals. This site is actually amazing, but it seems to have been not very well maintained. You can see within the boundary wall of the site, you can see people playing loud music, having fun. It doesn't seem to be having the same level of care as many other ASI sites are having. So that is kind of the sad bit. But otherwise, these do show a phenomenal light on the construction and the belief system of that era. monastery is in the Jajpur district of Odisha, crowning the flat hilltop, and it affords a panoramic view of the surroundings. It probably was chosen for the Buddhist establishment for its isolated eminence, which ensures the monks the seclusion for the serene and calm atmosphere necessary for monastic life, meditation, and studies. Excavations were conducted by Archaeological Survey of India in 1960s, and they yielded the remains of an impressive stupa, which is also labeled as the Stupa 1, surrounded by large number of votive stupas of varying dimensions, 2 quadrangular monasteries which are labeled monasteries 1 and 2, a single winged huge monastery with beautiful carved door, jamb and lintel, a spacious open courtyard, cells and verandas facing the courtyard with a spacious sanctum enshrining colossal Buddha. The existence of temple with curvilinear tower is only one of its kind discovered in Orissa. From the impressive remains and a large number of sculptures discovered during excavation, it is clear that the Buddhist establishment of Ratnagiri, dating around 5th century AD, witnessed a phenomenal growth in religion, art and architecture till around 13th century AD. A large number of stone sculptures, a few bronze and brass images of Buddha and of Buddhist pantheon recovered during excavations tend to prove that Ratnagiri was a great tantric center of Buddhism compared to that of Nalanda in Bihar. A large number of clay ceilings found during excavation bearing the legend Sri Ratnagiri Mahaviraya Arya Vikshu Samaksya have helped identifying name of the Ratnagiri monastery. By the end of 13th century AD, it was on decline. Decadence is discernible, that is, in architecture and sculpture art of Ratnagiri. Though no longer in affluent condition, the Buddhist establishment at Ratnagiri continued till about 16th century AD. So this is basically the text that I have picked up from one of the signages in the monastery. It actually is in a slightly better shape than what you see at Udaygiri, and even but it's not as big as Udaygiri. The third site, Lalitgiri, is almost 7 to 10 kilometers from Ratnagiri. to go there, you actually have to come out on the main highway, and then it's on the other side of the highway. Highway kind of cuts from the middle of these three sides. The excavation that were carried out by ASI at Lalitgiri have unearthed a large stupa on the hill, and within the stupa, two rare stone caskets were found with the relics of Buddha. The stone caskets, like Chinese puzzle boxes, were made of condylite stone, and they revealed three other boxes within them. These are, I think, preserved at the museum. There are also remnants of four monasteries. The first and the largest monastery facing east, which is a two-story structure in 36 square meters. And adjoining the monastery at the rear end is a rainwater cistern built of bricks. The second monastery is on the northern extremity of the hill, and it was believed to be built when Buddhism was losing its importance in Lalitgiri. The third monastery faces southeast and has a dimension of 28 by 27 meters. And the fourth monastery is basically 30 square meters in size, and it has many large-sized Buddha heads deified in the sanctum sanctorum. Since all these three are ASI monuments, they all shut down at sunset. So we barely kind of made through all three of them. We were kind of rushed because we drove from Bhubaneswar and these places are almost 90 kilometers away. But in the end, I think we kind of did justice to all three of them. By 5:30 we were done because the Lalitgiri was closing. We got out and we started driving back to our hotel in Bhubaneswar. We reached our hotel around 7:15, actually 7:15, and then after freshening up we had our dinner and we called it a day after that. Today was the last day of our stay in Bhubaneswar and the last day before we were going to start our return journey. So we slept in late and we decided to just visit one place, which is Dhauligiri. It is very close to Bhubaneswar, and this is basically the place where it is believed that the Kalinga War was fought. So we decided to go to this place, and this was going to be our last sightseeing. It was raining since yesterday, and the roads were wet, and going into monuments and coming out was going to be a challenge, but we still decided to go and visit this last place. The drive from Bhubaneswar to Dhauligiri is just about half an hour, actually less, because it was a wet day. We were driving pretty slow, and you basically have to climb a hill, and on the top you have this monument which you can see. And what we did was we went on the top of the hill where there is this Shanti Stupa. We first visited that place, and then on our way back we stopped at the place where the Ashoka's edicts are, and there is another small area where a lot of Buddha statues are. So basically these two places we visited on our way back. The Peace Pagoda was built by the Japanese Buddha Sangha and the Kalinga Nippon Buddha Sangha, and it was built in 1970. It's a nice peaceful place where you could basically spend some time. Dhauli itself is located on the banks of the river Daya, which is 8 kilometers south of Bhubaneswar in Odisha, India. It is a hill with vast open spaces adjoining it, and it is presumed to be the area where Kalinga War was fought. And there are rock edicts which are numbered 1 to 10 and the 14th one, and these are two separate Kalinga edicts. In Kalinga Edict 6, he expresses his concern for the welfare of the whole world. The rock-cut elephant above edicts is the earliest Buddhist sculpture of Odisha. The stone elephant shows the animal's four parts only, though it has fine sense of form and movement. It is considered one of the few remains of Mauryan art. is believed that the Daya river had turned red with the blood of many people who died in the battle, and that enabled Ashoka to realize the magnitude of the horror associated with the war. He saw to it that Dhauli became an important center of Buddhist activities. He built several chaityas, stupas and pillars there. He instructed that the hermitages be excavated where recluses could meditate, and issued instructions to be inscribed for officials, expounded the main principle of Dandaniti for public, and thereby provided a special status to his new kingdom, including the stupas at Dhauli. On our way back, we decided to top up our car because tomorrow we were going to start our drive back. So we stopped at one of the Indian Oil petrol bunk. Finally, we reached our hotel, and the rest of the day was spent in just resting, and we had our dinner and we called it a day. If you have liked this video, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell icon. Also share it with your social network. Moreover, keep on living, keep on driving, and keep on smiling.